Hey, Joe, it's your buddy Jess from RockSugar all the way in Los Angeles, California, broadcasting semi-live. Well, I was live when I did this. Who knows what's going to happen later today? You got 20 questions with RockSugar. Well, let's see if I have 20 answers. Number 1, Reimaginator took me quite by surprise. It's one of those crazy ideas that you can't imagine could work, but it does. All right, Joe, technically you have 19 questions because that's not one. So there's 19 questions. Yeah, it took everybody by surprise. The whole point of Reimaginator, for those who don't know, what RockSugar does is we take all your favorite 80s metal and all your favorite 80s pop and slam them together and come up with a new musical cocktail that'll get you drunk and happy at the same time. But then again, I guess that's the same thing Jack Daniels does. So yes, it is surprising. That's the whole point. We want it to be like a birthday surprise party that keeps going and going and going. Number 2, you made number 3 in our best of list for 2010, and I think that all of us at the Rock Pit had you on our charts. That is awesome. Have you been surprised by the response to the album? Yeah, we were surprised that we were number 3. We were really depressed, and but now we feel better because, we figure that's still pretty good. And whoever number 1 and 2 were, our hats are off to you, gentlemen or ladies or both. It's like if we've been surprised by it, it's funny, and please understand this isn't coming from a place of ego at all. It's like if I heard the record, if I had nothing to do with the record and I heard it, I would think it was really, really a cool idea, and I would tell my friends to check it out. Because as far as we know, nobody's really done it before. Although I think other people are starting to do it now, but, nobody's really done it before we did. And we really took time and effort to do it well. So I don't think we were surprised. It's more like being gratified by the fact that people responded to it and that it became as well known as it did as quickly as it did. I mean, those are things you can't control, and we're lucky, Would you like us to fax or text your award? Well, I don't know. Can you fax or text cash? Because it'd be kind of weird, but is it like a plaque? Because plaques aren't going to fit in the fax machine, and if it's some sort of trophy, good luck getting that to go. So you can't text that either. But if it's just something that says, "Hey, you're awesome," yeah, by all means, we'll hang it up. I love that stuff, and then I can show it to my mom and prove to her that I've been doing something with my life. Number 4, live, you guys have an amazing sound. Really, I've never really heard us, but I hear good things. When we saw your show last year, we were blown away. Is it hard to reproduce the album live? People think that it would be because, we're mixing up all these songs so much, and they're like, how do you guys keep it straight? Whoa, that's weird. But it's like, we spent so much time doing the record that now we're more familiar with these songs than the originals. And so if somebody, asked me to sing Don't Stop Believin' live, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey all the way through, it probably confused me because I'd keep waiting for Enter Sandman to kick in, But is it hard? I mean, it all depends on your definition of hard. It's like, is it hard for a brain surgeon to do what he does? Probably not, because he's been doing it for a long time. It's not that hard for me because I've been singing a long time, and it's not that hard for the guys because they're all really good at what they do, and it's like whenever anybody is good at something that they do, then it's really more of a pleasure than something difficult. I will tell you it's demanding, and that when we get off stage, we're all soaking wet, but that's because we try to give everything we got, It was great to catch up with you all at the House of Blues. We spent a lot of time chatting with Alex's family, and Chuck was hilarious. Yeah, Chuck is pretty funny. You should get Alex's dad going sometime. That's really funny. You seem to be a very friendly bunch of guys, and we appreciated you taking the time to talk to us. Hey, we could say the same thing right back at you. We can never believe that anybody actually will speak to us, much less people as cool as you guys. So thanks a lot for that. It was great. We'll catch up with you anytime. And if we come to Australia, you got to show us around because we hear amazing things about Australia. Tell us about your loyal supporters, the Sugarheads. Well, I've never actually tasted any of their heads, so I can't promise you that they're, in fact, sugary. But this is what they call themselves, and I will tell you that we can't do any of what we do without them. They are the reason that you're talking to us. They're the reason that people are watching our videos. They're the reason that we're playing the shows we're playing. Is because these people who are with us on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSugarBand are behind the band, and they tell their radio stations, and they tell their promoters, and they tell their friends. And then they become our friends. And that's the reason that the band got popular, pure and simple, is these people. So we owe them the biggest debt of thanks, and we never forget it. Number 7, getting back to the album, 80s rock fused with pop and reimagined. Where did the idea first come from? Came from me. That's all you need to know. Number 8, no, I'm just kidding. I thought of it because I was like, people love these songs, and if you could figure out a way to put them both together at the same time, first of all, it's like multitasking. It's like getting twice as much stuff done in the same amount of time because you get to hear 2 of your favorite songs, or 3 or 4, depending on how inebriated Chuck Duran was when he worked on the arrangements. It was my idea initially, but I was very, very aided by the fact that, Chuck and I have been partners for a long, long time on music and stuff like that, and he's so good at arranging and things like that, that had he not been involved, it probably would have just been me singing Three Blind Mice over Megadeth. So fortunately, it worked out better than that. Where did your musical journey begin? Around the block at 7-Eleven, because I used to go out there with a hat and sing Bringing on the Heartbreak by Def Leppard and try to get money. It began when I heard the Beatles initially, and then I heard Steve Perry sing, and I said, I want to do that. And then I went in my room and started screaming until my vocal cords bled, and then I could sing like that. So all good things, all stories have a happy ending, hopefully. And my musical journey is continuing, because every time I hear a great new band or anybody write a great song, it's like it starts all over again for me. And I'm like, let's see, people are still doing this. It's not all crap. There's some good things out there, man. Describe the events of the last year for you all. A lot of airplanes. There's a lot of security checks and pat downs and stuff, and that was just at the hotel. It was great, man. We traveled all over the place. We didn't get to go to Australia, so you Australian sugar heads, get on it, mate, and get us out there. We had a great time, man. We went everywhere. We played on bills with AC/DC and Slash and the Scorpions and all these bands that we loved, and they were all like, who are you? And it was great. Do you have any unusual combinations of songs you can tell us about for the next release? I would. We've got some already, and me and Chuck have to have a meeting and get some Mongolian barbecue next week and start figuring things out, because we've got ideas. But I can't tell you what they are, because there's already guys. What's unusual, there's bands out there that are doing our stuff, and our stuff, you could say our stuff is covers, right? They're not traditional covers, because there's these new weird arrangements, but they are covers of existing songs. And now there's bands covering us, which is really, really funny. And we love when they do that, especially when they give us credit. What we don't like is that there are some bands taking our arrangements of these songs and acting like they came up with them. And that's kind of a drag. So I'm not going to tell you anything, because the next thing you know, some guy in Belgium will be out there going, yes, and this is a song I put together with Tusse, and then we'll come out with our version. They'll go, we stole it from the Belgian guy. How are the live shows going? I see that you've been playing Vegas too. The live shows are going amazing. I have a really great time, and I've only hurt myself. What? Have I hurt myself yet? Yeah, Chuck hit me in the head with a guitar, and he cracked my head open with a guitar. That was here in town, though, not in Vegas. But yeah, they go great, and we're always so gratified by the audience, man. It's like, that's what does it, because you're only as good as your audience, and in that case, we're pretty damn good, because we have amazing people show up to see us, and they bring out the best in us, and they're fun. The live shows are fun. I always watch videos of old concerts. That's what I have going while I'm working all the time, like DVDs of everybody, dude. I've got bootlegs of everybody. And, I've been watching like Van Halen lately with Roth, and it's like, those were great shows because they were like parties, it's like they were throwing a party. They weren't just the band playing at the party. They were throwing a party, and they involved people, and they got people engaged, and people felt like they were part of it, as opposed to they were just watching it. You might as well, if you're going to do that, you can stay home, So when we play shows, we try to get the audience involved and make sure they have as much fun as we do, which is saying something, because we have a really good time. 2010 saw you at Download. How was your first experience of the UK as RockSugar? That was my favorite gig I've ever played, period. No offense to anybody else. I mean, we love, we have like a huge family of friends in Memphis and other parts of the country in America, as well as all over the world, and we love playing those places. But Download, man, I used to have a poster of that on my wall when I was a kid. So to play there was unbelievable. And to play there for the reception that we got from the UK rock maniacs that were there, that knew every word and every arrangement and everything we were going to do, was just, honest to goodness, man, that was one of the best moments of my life, and certainly my favorite gig. And if all, bodes well, we'll be back in 2011. We can only hope. Tell us about your plans for 2011. I just mentioned that. How will RockSugar take over the world? Well, first of all, we need a lot of guns, because without that, it's a big freaking world, man. And if you have a lot of guns and a microphone, see, look at the government. No, we're gonna continue doing what we do best, which is this, and security checks, and coming to Australia, and continuing to get sugarheads checking out our videos on YouTube, and coming to the website at rocksugarband.com, and going on Facebook and telling their friends. And next thing you know, we will take over the universe. Your celebrity impressions are amazing. Thanks, man. You do the best, Paul Stanley, Axl, and Ozzy. Have you always been such a great mimic? This is just something that I've been doing since I was a kid. You see, when you're a kid, you always have these things that you can do. Some kids can paint, other kids can dance, other kids can sing, whatever. I was always doing voices, and that's why RockSugar is such a great vehicle for me personally, because I get to sing like these people. I get to sing like Paul Stanley and Axl and Ozzy and Steve Perry and Joe Elliott and Bryan Adams and all my favorite singers at the same time. So again, I'm multitasking, and I'm not even in like a straight ahead tribute band. It's a very good thing. It's kind of you to say I'm a great mimic. It is something that I've always done, and it's a talent. Everybody has one. The trick is to find out what yours is, and then try to see if somebody will give you $1 to do it. Your live show is much more than just a rehash of the album. We have the impressions and plenty of audience participation, which makes it more than just a rock show. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to throw into the mix, dude? We do everything. We've served the whole audience pizza. We have Mini Jess, which is a little person who comes out dressed up as me and tries to take over the band in like a hostile kind of coup situation, which is awesome. We have contests. We get people up singing. We pull people up out of the, So as you say, is there anything else you'd like to throw in the mix? We want to throw everything in the mix. We want to be like the trail mix of rock. So you're going to see more of everything I just mentioned, and hopefully new stuff in the new year too, if I'm not too tired to think of some more stuff. 16, have you been surprised by the overwhelmingly positive reaction? Did you think at any stage this just won't work? Well, it's like, it's sort of like when you approach a beautiful woman and you say hello, and she actually says hello back and gives you her phone number. You're like, wow, that was an overwhelmingly positive reaction. And you're always happy when you get that. So sure, because it's like our fans are all like just one giant beautiful woman who said yes and gave us her phone number. Do we think at any stage this won't work? No, we always thought it would work. If we didn't, we would have been doing something else. We would have just been playing air hockey. So this, we went and we did this because we were like, hey, I think this is going to work. And, so far, so good. We're not Bon Jovi yet, but we're living in his backyard. As far as, he doesn't know that though, so keep that between us, because if he found out, then he's got a lot of money and he owns sports teams, and, it could be a whole mess. As far as Loud and Clear are concerned, do you have any plans for this year? Only if somebody has a check with the words paid to Loud and Clear on it. Because see, that's the other thing, you got to be realistic. It's all wonderful. The notion of, of being in a band is a wonderful, wonderful notion. But after you've done it for years and years and years, the kind of glamour of playing for $30 at some corrupt nightclub where they then lie to you and say, oh, we can only give you $14 because we had the toilet break, becomes less appealing. So you want to do it as a business, and you want to do it as a successful business. Loud and Clear, as good a band as that was, and we really love everybody who likes it and loves that stuff. And we love that stuff. We love those songs. It's like, do we love it enough to want to go slog around in a trailer and, and try to get people who would rather listen to hip hop, and the latest, Lil Wayne, Kanye West situation to buy Loud and Clear records? It's like, no, that's like a not an overwhelmingly positive battle to fight, and we try to choose our battles effectively. Fortunately, with RockSugar, it's been embraced by a much, much bigger audience than that, and that's because people love these songs and like hearing them in a new way. There's some TV show I think called Creed. No, it's Glee, and they do kind of a similar thing, but we had nothing to do with them, and they had nothing to do with us. But I'm just saying people like that, and so RockSugar is a viable kind of a business model. If RockSugar had a cocktail made for them, what would be in it? Well, mine would be a Slurpee, because I don't drink, so mine would be a Slurpee, and it would have apple. See, the things I like apple and coconut and shrimp. So that would be a really bad Slurpee, apple, coconut, shrimp Slurpee. So that I wouldn't recommend you drink that unless you've already really drunk on other stuff, and then you can have it and you'd probably like it. If you could have been involved in the creation of any album or piece of music, what would it be and why? Well, I don't think it would have been bad to have been involved in Sgt. Pepper, because first of all, that's still making money and people still dig it. And then you could sit around and go, I thought it was great. What do you think? Oh, I thought it was great too. It's great. We got this little song. I read the news today. Oh boy. People still like it and you'd be happy. And, of course, Yoko would be involved at some point. So you'd have that to deal with. Number 20, an easy one to finish off with. What is the meaning of life? In my opinion, the meaning of life is to have as good a time as you can and bring as many people along to the good time as you can without hurting anybody. And you always want to be the person that people are happier to see walking in the room than walking out of the room. So when you walk out of the room for the last time, they'll say, wow, I'm glad that guy showed up. And that's it. All right, there's your 20 questions. God bless you guys. Keep the rock alive. Australia, you rule. Let's get over there and do a show on the steps of the Sydney Opera House until they kick us